When boys and girls in this country turn 16, they receive a notification of who their future partner will be. Those who do not marry their chosen partners are penalized. Because of this measure, the birth rate has stabilized and some children born to these planned couples have above-average intelligence. The story begins when our protagonist named Niji is looking at a girl in class. Her name is Misaki. We discover that Niji has been secretly in love with her for 5 years. A few moments later, a classmate of Niji's reveals that he received his marriage notification yesterday. However, he says that he wants to fall in love and would never marry someone the government has chosen for him. Niji agrees, and they all make a pact to never get married. When Niji gets home, he declares that all he wants is to be in love with Misaki and begins to have flashbacks to when they were younger. While eating dinner, Niji's mother reminds him that his birthday is in a few days and that the cheerleader will receive the notification. However, Niji is dreading that day because he doesn't want to fall in love with anyone other than Misaki. He decides that he has to tell her how he feels before he receives the notification of a partner, so the next day at school, he approaches her, but the words he wants to say won't come out. But when she's already leaving, he gathers up the courage to ask her to go out with him after school. As Niji waits, he has a feeling that Misaki won't show up, but just as he's about to leave, she runs after him and grabs his shirt. She apologizes for being late, and they sit on a bench together where Niji confesses his feelings for her. Misaki starts to cry and reveals that she's also liked him all this time, which comes as a big surprise to Niji. However, they stand in front of the moon and kiss. Sometime later, the clock strikes midnight and Niji receives his notification stating that his marriage partner has been decided. Misaki becomes sad and runs away. However, Niji chases after her, refusing to let her go because she is the love of his life. The next day, Niji meets his chosen partner, a girl named Sanera. Niji is nervous because he finds her very attractive and the two families start to get to know each other. However, while everyone else is talking, Niji is in his own world, thinking about Misaki. Sanera ridicules him for having no manners and leaves the room since Niji was not paying attention to her. A few moments later, Niji finds her alone in a room and apologizes to her for being so rude. She accepts his apology and they talk for a while. Niji tells her everything about Misaki, and she surprisingly offers to help him sort things out with her. They then agree to walk back hand in hand to make their parents think they are together. The next day at school, Niji's classmates tell him how crazy Niji is for getting such a cute partner, which reminds him that he agreed to meet her soon. He finds Sanera in the nurse's office where she reveals that she doesn't fit in with other girls and pretended to be sick to skip class. Niji admits that he's always had trouble talking to girls, but says that it's easy with you, making her heal. After school, Sanera introduces herself to Misaki. They go to a fast food place and Sanera reveals that she doesn't like Niji and asks Misaki how she feels about Niji. Misaki confesses her feelings for Niji, which makes Sanera say it must be amazing to fall in love with someone. After they leave, Misaki asks Sanera if she'd like to hang out again, which makes her cry because she's never had any friends before. A few moments later, Niji lets slip that he kissed Misaki but explains that it was before he got the notification, though to his surprise, Sanera tells him to kiss Misaki again. The next day, Niji goes to Sanera's house and is surprised to see Misaki in her room. Sanera gives her blessing for them to kiss, but just before their lips touch, Niji backs away because he can't bring himself to do it. Before Misaki leaves, she tells Sanera that she wants her to fall in love with Niji because she herself is probably not the right girl for him, which leaves Sanera very surprised since Misaki is in love with him. Sanera goes back to her room and tells Niji that he must kiss Misaki once a day, which leaves him shocked. At school, Niji wonders if there is something going on with Misaki and her classmate Nasaka after noticing them looking at each other strangely. Later, Niji meets up with Misaki to ask about Nasaka. However, they see a teacher and Niji pulls her closer to him so they can get out of sight. Niji thinks about the consequences of being intimate with someone other than his assigned partner, but finds it too difficult to hide his true feelings, and they end up kissing. The next day, two people who work for the government pay a visit to check on Niji and Sanera's relationship. The woman explains that almost 50% of your personality is determined by your genesis, and with all the research and tests, they determine who your ideal partner will be. So the trick is to select a partner at 16 before their personalities are fully developed. After interviewing Niji and Sanera, they inform the two that they are going to Misaki's house now. Niji is worried that she has received his marriage notice, but Sanera tells him not to give up yet. At school, Niji asks Misaki if she has her assigned partner yet. She says yes, and that they are living together. However, she says that she was joking, and that the government people only have business to discuss with her parents, which leaves Niji relieved. Misaki then says that Niji will be the only person who is special to her, and that the rest will always be the same no matter who it is, and then they kiss. As Niji prepares to go to bed, he receives a call from Sanera. She tells him that they are going on a camping trip and Misaki is going too, so Niji asks Anasaka to go with him, since he doesn't know how he will deal with the two girls alone. The day arrives, and they all take the train together. When they arrive at the inn, Anasaka begins preparing food while Niji goes to check on the girls who are having fun in the lake in their swimsuits. A few moments later, Sanera slips on a rock and hurts herself, so Niji carefully carries her back to the inn where her father tends to her injury. Later, Anasaka tells Sanera that Niji is headed for disaster if Misaki continues to let him get closer to her because of the repercussions from the government. A few days pass and the government calls the new couples to a class on how to make babies. They give everyone condoms and give a demonstration class on how to make love. The teacher says that before language was learned, making love was the most primitive form of communication tools. She then says that everyone has the task of making love and the couples who did not will be penalized when the time comes. Niji comes up with a plan to pretend they are doing it, which ends up being extremely awkward. Sanera then tells Niji that she is scared of him touching her and wants to keep her distance from him for a while, since she is not feeling like herself. On the other hand, Misaki admits to herself that she hates seeing Niji with Sanera but doesn't want to say anything because she is afraid that they might realize that they are in love. The next day, it is announced that there will be a play at school. They will do the play Romeo and Juliet with Anasaka and Misaki playing the main characters. Niji offers to help Misaki with her lines, and while they are walking together, she asks Niji if he is in love with Sanera. He says no, and says, "I am in love with you." Misaki has a moment and tells Niji that she is thinking about ending things. Niji immediately responds by asking why, and she says, "Because I am not your designated partner," explaining that she falls more and more in love with him every day, even though she knows there is no hope for them. The day of the festival arrives and Sanada arrives to watch the play, which ends up being amazing. After the play, Niji is approached by a mysterious girl who broadly reveals to him that Misaki is his true destined partner. Niji then notices that Sanera is standing nearby with a shocked look on her face since she heard everything. She asks if their pairing was a mistake, and Niji says no, since he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. Sometime later, they find Misaki and tell her how good she was in the play. Anasaka approaches and informs Niji that he needs him to take his cousin's place in a wedding and to think of it as a favor back for going to the inn with Niji. Niji agrees to go with Anasaka, and when the day arrives, Sanera and Misaki join them as well. After the ceremony, Niji finds Misaki crying alone. She pours her heart out, say, "I don't care if it's a lie, tell me you love me," causing Niji to lose control and kiss her. That night, Sanera tells Niji that he should choose to marry Misaki and explains that their love has changed her life for the better, since she now has more friends. She also informs Niji that she has found a way to escape the arranged marriage peacefully. All they would have to do is tell the government that they don't get along and that a marriage between them would never work. The next day, Niji tells Anasaka that he doesn't know what to do since he loves Misaki and Sanera. Anasaka says that if they really love him, Niji can make them both happy. Niji runs off to find the girls. Meanwhile, Misaki and Sanera are getting ready for a photo shoot as brides. While they're taking pictures, Niji opens the door and confesses his love for both of them. They decide to love and lie for each other to keep everyone happy. The anime ends here. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment on any anime you want me to do a complete summary of. Until next time.